The 1970s were a golden age for muscle cars, but what if I told you some of the most iconic cars from that era weren't as fast as we remember? That's right. These legendary machines, packed with raw power and aggressive styling, might not have lived up to the speed we've come to expect from muscle cars. From the powerhouse Chevelle SS454 to the iconic Dodge Charger R Dodge T, each of these cars had one major thing in common: a massive engine that promised thrilling performance. But as the years went on, their true speed couldn't quite keep up with the changing times. Want to know why these muscle cars were slow on the road, despite their legendary status? Keep watching, because you won't believe how these beasts of the 70s failed to live up to their full potential. Don't miss out! Chevelle SS454, an iconic muscle car of the 1970s, was a beast on paper. Powered by a massive 454 cubic inch V8 engine, this car was designed to dominate the roads. With its aggressive styling, including wide fenders and a bold front grille, it looked the part of a muscle car king. It could produce up to 450 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful cars of the era. But despite its raw power, it was surprisingly slow when compared to the newer muscle cars that followed. The Chevelle SS454 wasn't built for top speed. It was more about brute force and street presence. The heavy weight of the car, combined with less refined technology, kept it from reaching the performance levels we expect from muscle cars today. Still, the Chevelle SS454 remains one of the coolest and most beloved muscle cars from the 1970s. Dodge Charger RT. The 1970 Dodge Charger RT is a true symbol of muscle car power and muscle car culture. With its aggressive styling and unmistakable presence on the road, the Charger RT turned heads wherever it went. Equipped with a 440 cubic inch V8 engine, this beast could churn out an impressive 375 horsepower. It was a favorite in Hollywood, famously starring in the Fast and Furious franchise, solidifying its place in automotive history. However, when it came to performance, the Charger RT had its flaws. Despite its powerful engine, the car's heavy weight and less refined suspension systems limited its speed, especially in comparison to modern-day performance cars. While it wasn't the fastest in terms of acceleration or top speed, the Charger RT was still a thrilling ride for muscle car enthusiasts, offering a perfect blend of style, sound, and power. Ford Mustang Boss 302. The 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302 is one of the most revered muscle cars from the 1970s, embodying the spirit of American muscle. Powered by a 302 cubic inch V8 engine, it generated an impressive 290 horsepower. This car was designed for handling, boasting improved suspension and a lower stance compared to its siblings. It was built to compete in Trans-Am racing, which gave it a sporty edge. The Boss 302 could launch with power, making it a blast to drive on twisty roads. However, despite its performance pedigree, the Boss 302 couldn't quite match the raw speed of some of its contemporaries. It was a little slower than expected, especially in terms of top-end speed, largely due to its heavier build and road-going focus. While it wasn't the fastest muscle car on the block, its balanced performance and iconic styling made it an absolute legend among enthusiasts. Ford Mustang Boss 302. The 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302 is one of the most revered muscle cars from the 1970s, embodying the spirit of American muscle. Powered by a 302 cubic inch V8 engine, it generated an impressive 290 horsepower. This car was designed for handling, boasting improved suspension and a lower stance compared to its siblings. It was built to compete in Trans-Am racing, which gave it a sporty edge. The Boss 302 could launch with power, making it a blast to drive on twisty roads. However, despite its performance pedigree, the Boss 302 couldn't quite match the raw speed of some of its contemporaries. It was a little slower than expected, especially in terms of top-end speed, largely due to its heavier build and road-going focus. While it wasn't the fastest muscle car on the block, its balanced performance and iconic styling made it an absolute legend among enthusiasts. Pontiac GTO Judge. The 1970 Pontiac GTO Judge is a true legend in the world of muscle cars, instantly recognizable by its bold styling and high-performance reputation. Powered by a 400 cubic inch V8 engine, the GTO produced a hearty 366 horsepower, which made it a formidable force on the streets. The car's ram air, hood, colorful decals, and aggressive stance added to its muscle car persona. The Judge was designed to offer thrilling performance at an affordable price. However, despite its impressive power, the GTO Judge's performance was a bit lacking compared to other muscle cars of its time. It wasn't as fast in terms of raw acceleration or top speed, primarily due to its heavy build and less advanced engineering compared to some of its rivals. Even so, the Pontiac GTO Judge remains one of the most celebrated muscle cars of the 1970s, known for its audacious style and the powerful engine lurking under the hood. Oldsmobile. The 1970 Oldsmobile 442 is one of the most iconic muscle cars of the 1970s, boasting a 455 cubic inch V8 engine that produced up to 365 horsepower. With its sharp styling and muscular presence, the 442 was a force to be reckoned with. It had an impressive combination of power and luxury, making it a favorite among muscle car enthusiasts looking for a mix of both. Despite its powerful engine, the 442's performance didn't always live up to the hype. The car's weight, combined with the less advanced suspension and technology of the time, meant that it wasn't as quick off the line or fast on the top end compared to some of its competition. While it was certainly a powerful and enjoyable ride, the Oldsmobile 442 wasn't the fastest muscle car of its era, but it remains a beloved classic thanks to its impressive engine and timeless design. AMC Javelin. The 1970 AMC Javelin was a standout muscle car, offering a unique option for enthusiasts looking for something different from the typical Ford or Chevy models. Powered by a 390 cubic inch V8 engine, the Javelin could produce up to 325 horsepower, making it a strong performer in its class. With its sleek, aggressive design and distinctive lines, the Javelin had a bold presence on the road. However, when it came to raw speed, the Javelin was a bit behind the competition. While it had decent acceleration, its top-end speed and overall performance couldn't quite match up to the likes of the Mustang or Charger. The Javelin's heavier frame and lack of refined suspension systems kept it from being as fast as other muscle cars of its time. Despite its slower performance, the Javelin remains an underrated gem, known for its unique styling and solid engine performance. Chrysler Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The 1970 Chrysler Plymouth Hemi Cuda is one of the most iconic and visually striking muscle cars of its era. With its 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine, this car was designed to deliver raw power, producing up to 425 horsepower. The Hemi Cuda was a car that demanded attention, with its aggressive styling, wide stance, and bold colors. It was a true powerhouse on the streets, known for its muscle and roar. However, despite its incredible engine, the Hemi Cuda's performance was somewhat limited. The car's heavy weight, combined with its less advanced suspension system, meant it wasn't as quick off the line as expected. While it certainly had the power, the Hemi Cuda didn't quite match the performance of some of its competitors when it came to acceleration and top speed. Still, the Plymouth Hemi Cuda remains a highly collectible and revered muscle car, cherished for its legendary engine and timeless design. Chevrolet Camaros. The 1970 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 quickly became one of the most famous muscle cars of the 1970s. Equipped with a 3.2 cubic inch V8 engine, it produced 290 horsepower and was built for performance, designed to compete in the Trans Am Racing series. The Z28 was known for its sharp handling and sporty demeanor, making it a favorite among driving enthusiasts. However, despite its race-bred roots, the Z28 wasn't the fastest muscle car of its time. While it was fantastic on tight corners and offered a thrilling driving experience, it wasn't quite as fast as its contemporaries in a straight line. Still, the Camaro Z28 is remembered for its exceptional handling, aggressive styling, and racing heritage, solidifying its place as one of the coolest muscle cars of the 1970s. If you thought the 1970s muscle cars were all about pure speed, think again. These legendary machines had power, style, and sound, but they weren't the fastest cars of the decade. It's crazy to think how these iconic models, like the Chevelle SS454 and the Plymouth Hemi Cuda, faltered in terms of raw performance. So, which of these cars surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Was your favorite faster than expected, or did it fall short? And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with more exciting videos. Plus, make sure you don't miss our next one, the ugliest muscle cars of each decade, coming soon. You won't want to miss it.